Good morning, everybody. What's up, Leo? Say what's up to the world.
Over there.
Over there? What's over there? Nothing. Damn, wide awake. 7:19 in the morning. Let's go. All right, who's first? Lieta goes first.
Thank you.
Girls go first. Let's go.
I'm
Leo, what do you want? You want a muffin? Yeah?
just one.
You just want one. What do you buy you guys? Yeah? All right, let's go. We're gonna head to Starbucks really quick, get them a muffin. Normally do not get them. Try not to do it every day, maybe like once or twice a week. It's been actually like 2 weeks. Dude, look how big Leo's head looks next to Valentina. Leo's 2 years old and Val is 8. That is wild. To be the next Rob Gronkowski. Man, look at beautiful Pasadena. I've been waking up to this every single day. 7:23 in the morning. Starbucks. Let's go. Let's go. I used to get a nitro cold brew all the time. I haven't had one in a while. All right, here we go. On our way to school now. 7:26 a.m. You know what's crazy? We're driving to school at 7:26 a.m. Leo has literally been up since 5:30 a.m. That kid is wild. The second I get out of bed, it's like he smells me and he's like right up. And he doesn't go back to sleep. How's the muffin? What are you guys eating? Let me see. K-pop. Let me see, Leo. Take a bite. Oh yeah, so good. You know what's crazy? I just spent 22 bucks for breakfast right now. I just spend it every day. It's crazy how quickly things add up. I think this is the first time we go to Starbucks in like 2 or 3 weeks. So it's been a while. I remember before we were going almost every day. And then I was like, okay, we gotta cut that back. Not because of the whole money thing, but just because they were having muffin for breakfast. I'm like, we could just do that at home. This morning, I was like, let's go to Starbucks. So I personally have not gone to Starbucks in a while either. I'll show you guys right now. I used to go to Starbucks every single day, like religiously. And I used to drink a nitro cold brew. I don't know if you guys can see this, but this thing's like 300 milligrams of caffeine. I was literally having this first thing in the morning. I was all jacked up. And it got to a point where I was having it way too early. And you know, I guys told you guys about my Hashimoto's condition. Part of the issues with that is that when you're not producing enough, converting enough T3 to T4 and you're getting the right hormones you need, what ends up happening is usually because of high stress that's blocking the conversion of the T3 to T4. Because I was not doing the right things, it just wasn't hitting right. And so ever since I started transitioning and I really sticking to my stuff, I was having a nitro here and there. And then it got to a point where the nitro just was not hitting. And so I started having coffee at home. And so I was just going back and forth with really dialing my food and everything else. And now when I have a nitro, I remember people used to tell me this, damn, you have a nitro every day? That's a lot of caffeine. I used to be like, man, I could have a nitro and I wouldn't feel anything. Literally, if you asked me 8 months ago, I could have a full nitro and I would feel the exact same way. That's how bad it was. And so I was like, okay, that's a problem. That's not supposed to be happening. So then I went 40 days last year where I got off caffeine completely. It was around October. Ever since then, I've been everything's gotten dialed in. And now I'm having the nitro. I could just feel it. It's hitting right now. So optimize, guys. You get to remember to optimize what you are doing. And so if you do, you will get way better results in your life with whatever you're doing. So optimizing, it doesn't look the same for everybody. I would personally say that there's a few things that for sure help everyone, like obviously eating a whole food diet and sleeping 8 hours a day. But there's other things that we've talked about. So I am on my way to drop off the kids, and as a reminder, I will be dropping a hint somewhere halfway through the video at some point. And if you hear the magic word, I'm gonna be doing a $25 giveaway, and you need to comment the word, and you also need to tell me what did you pick up on this video that you could apply in your life that will actually make a difference, right? Anything that you can pick up on. It doesn't have to be about money and business, it could be about family, whatever the case is, individual. I'll see you guys later. What's going on, guys? Man, it's been a long day. It's just crazy how some days just fly by and feel exhausting, and other times they just feel great. I think that lack of sleep was kind of caught up to me this week, but it was actually surprisingly a pretty productive day. When I got back from dropping off the kids, I actually recorded a couple times, and I didn't have the way I was recording, everything came out vertical, so it looked funny. But I was at the gym earlier, and I had 3 meetings in there. I had my 1 hour hour workout ended up being like 2 hours. I literally took like 3 meetings in there. I had a call with our funding team, a call with our sales team, a call with our marketing team. Then I came back and then I was literally like on calls all day. I had 2 sales calls today. I had a call with the mother of my kids. That's also been a little bit stressful. I'll tell you guys a bit about that. I don't think I've shared much of that. And then I had an accounting meeting. It was like back to back to back, and I was also working in between each of those meetings, so it was actually pretty productive. And then I went for a run after all that. And so right now I'm just laying here contemplating life, and I'm like, man, I'm tired. And I'm also like, you know what? What's up, Julieta? You're hiding. Oh, you came for your shoes? I always make the girls get their stuff, their clothes for school and all that for the next day. So that's what she's doing right now. But yeah, it was just a long day, and I'm just kind of thinking about everything that's happening. Oh, the other thing, I almost forgot this. This is what in the other videos that I recorded that I can't use because I didn't record them properly. I've told you guys about hypnosis. I had a hypnosis session today with this hypnotist. His name is Dr. Pratt. He used to be, I guess he's basically like a psychologist, and he specializes in hypnosis. I worked with him for the first time back in 2022. And then I stopped working with him because I started trying a whole bunch of other stuff. And but I know hypnosis works because I've literally done it many times. Guys, it is crazy. If you have never done hypnosis, like, you should really try it. Like, if you can find somebody you trust that is good, like, it's pretty crazy. So I started working with him again about a month ago, and I want to see where I can take things to the next level. Like, I feel like I've been able to do a lot by myself. I just want to sharpen up my tools, honestly, like make sure that I'm missing no gaps, because these next 6 months are going to be super, super critical to the business, and I need to be like on point with everything. Basically set up an appointment, and I told him, I was like, all right, Dr. Pratt, I was like, look, here's the thing. I'm pretty good at pushing myself when I'm tired, or like I'm not feeling up to it, but I can tell that there's still a small margin that holds me back, where I kind of hesitate, I question, I end up doing it, but then I find other things to do before I do the actual thing, whether I go work out, whether I cook, eating healthy, whether falling asleep. It's like there's still that small hesitation, and we all have it, right? And it's really a skill that you develop over time. And the more you practice it, then the quicker you become decisive with everything that you do. And so I started noticing that although I'm doing more than I have in a while recently, there's still that hesitation that kind of ends up having me waste 1 or 2 hours a day, right? Like, I'll hop off a meeting, then I'll get on Instagram for 10 minutes. Then I'll go back to work, and then I get distracted by something else. Like, I'm getting work done, but like, I don't think you guys understand, like, that 1 or 2 hours during the day it's a big difference. You can get a lot done. And then 2, it's the momentum you're building. And so every time I stop, like, I'm losing momentum versus just going and going and going and going and going and going, right? I know some people might be like, oh, well, you should take a break, like, blah, blah, blah. Nah. If there's people out there that can run 100 miles within 2 days without stopping, why can't somebody work nonstop for 16 hours and still sleep 8 hours? Like, just think about that, right? So it's not that crazy if you think about it, as long as you're eating properly, working out, not pushing yourself too crazy, and sleeping. I told him that, and I was like, I need to figure out, like, where can I take it to the next level? Like, hook me up. And so he created a hypnosis track for me that's probably about 30 minutes. I think that's the longest hypnosis track that I've ever had from him. Most of the other ones that I have are like 5 to maybe not 5, maybe like 8 to 12 minutes. And surprisingly, this one was super long. And so basically, he's hypnotized me to, he called it a motivation hypnosis. So it wasn't specifically like for work. He said that he thinks it'd be better if he were to focus more from a broader sense, so that way everything and anything that I want to do, I'm just like moving. And you guys are gonna think this is crazy, and it's probably a placebo. So when he's doing these hypnosis sessions and he's recording these for me, he's literally doing it as if he was here in person with me. So we're on FaceTime, and then I have a second, and then I record it. And so the way you walk through hypnosis is basically you have to go into a deep trance, right? And when you go into that deep trance, the deepest trance that you can get in is when we're falling asleep. We right off the bat, we usually go into a theta state. And that's usually your dreaming state, which is where you're at the place where you're more receptive to hypnotism. Once you're sleeping for multiple hours and you drop into delta, which is like the deepest, that's pretty much when you're like just completely knocked out. You're not actually conscious. Any of us can get into with enough relaxation, which is kind of what they talk about when you're meditating. So when you're meditating, you go into theta. It's basically where you can kind of help rewire your brain, do visualizations, connect to energy, whatever, all the stuff that they talk about. And so through hypnosis, the same thing. So Basically, I lay down, I go into a deep trance where I just relax, up until the point where I start getting to theta, where my mind is so relaxed, it's receptive to whatever messaging it gives me. So I laid down and then he basically talked to me, he just did his thing. And it's like, I'm not really asleep, but I'm kind of asleep, right? I'm sure you guys can kind of understand that point, kind of when you're going to sleep or you're waking up too. When you're kind of like awake, but you're not awake, that's when you're in theta, right? Your mind's still like in another world, but it's trying to be here in the conscious world at the same time. That's the best time to get hypnotized. And so he walks me through that process, and then he just talks to me, and he, it's not words of affirmation, but he's basically kind of guiding me as to like how I think and operate about certain things. And so we did that for about an hour today. And right after we finished, I was like, I'm still a little tired. I was like, I had a pretty intense day. It's already 2 p.m. It was like 1:30. I was like, I'm gonna go take a 30-minute nap because I'm still behind on my sleep and I can still feel it. I was sitting in my chair on my desk, and then I'm like, so I had a meeting with him, and then I think I had another quick meeting, and I was about to go to bed to take a 30-minute nap, and then I'm like, you know what? I'm like, what if I just keep going? And I kept going, and I worked all the way up until like 5. And so I'm not saying it worked that quickly. Possibly it did. And it could also be that it was just a placebo right in that moment. Pretty excited to see what happens in the next couple weeks and months, because I'm gonna be listening to that track consistently every single day. I expect crazy results. I can personally see, because I track everything, how effective and efficient I actually am with my days and everything that I'm doing. And there are a lot of gaps. I'll say that. What's up, Lil? Okay, I'll go right now. Say hi.
Hi.
Yeah, so I was saying there's a lot of gaps in the things that I do, and I can see it. But again, I've been trying to fill in those gaps, which are usually like 2 hours a day, where again, I'm not building the momentum or just getting more things done. So I'm excited as to what's gonna happen in these next few weeks, because I have a couple other tracks. I have a handful of them, but there's one specifically that I've been tapping into the last like 2 weeks, which is a sleeping hypnosis to make me fall asleep fast. Guys, I'm not kidding you. I fall asleep within like 5 minutes. And some of you might be able to do that, but for me, I've always had an issue with falling asleep quickly. It's part of the reason why I tend to stay up later when I know I should be going to sleep, because like my mind's always just going. And so that's been super helpful. I actually tried it on the kids, and the kids fall asleep pretty quickly too now. And so I'm gonna be listening to this one now going forward, and let's see what happens. So I'm checking out for the day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.